So guys, bottom line, this is a 50% return on investment.
Who wants in on this deal?
Yeah, right here. All right, who's got 50K and is ready to go right now?
That's okay, because in today's video, Matt and I, we're gonna teach you the 4 steps to how you go find the money so you're never gonna use the lack of funds ever again as a reason why you can't get out there and make real estate happen right now.
One shot, now the future is yours. Go! I'm turning dreams into reality. Yeah, it's one shot, now the future is yours. Go!
Gotta tell you, number one reason why people subscribe to this channel but don't own real estate or as much as they should is because they say, Kris, it takes money to make money. And you know what? That wasn't true for me, and it doesn't have to be true for you, which is why I've got Matt Andrews here in town today to help solve this problem.
Hey, what's up guys? Matt Andrews here. I love real estate and I love raising money for awesome real estate projects. Let's get into it.
So today I'm joined by Matt Andrews. This dude has done over 1,000 deals in the game of real estate. And can I just ask, did you use your money on every single one of those?
I did not.
No, so how did you actually end up doing it?
I raised money from lots of different sources, but I made private lenders my best friends.
Really?
Yeah.
So today is going to be really fun because not only has he crushed it in the game of real estate, not only is he crushing it overall in the game of business, he owns a really cool mastermind that people love being a part of. You should check out the link below to certainly learn a lot more about him. But today he's going to be teaching us 4 different steps of how you actually go about getting the money you need for unlimited deals. Bottom line, real estate is where it's at. And for the next 2 decades, it's going to be really hot. It's going to go through one of its best rises. It's going to go through one of its worst falls. It's going to have one of its best recoveries. Like the time for real estate, 100% for wealth creation is right now. But you have to know what you're doing, and you can't wait to have all the cash to transact all of the real estate that you want. Between Matt and I, we've done thousands of real estate deals. And this cat, he's super expert on this right here. It's how do you get in on some of the best real estate investments? And it looks like this. Real estate has long been one of the best ways to grow wealth, with its tax incentives, predictable growth, and use as a hedge against inflation, which, by the way, right now is like hyper crazy important with this fight, is where inflation is just going through the roof. High prices can be a barrier for some, yet seasoned investors have many ways of raising capital to reap the benefits of real estate without putting any of their own money in. Matt, at any point, did you actually ever use your own money and then graduate to never using your own money, or how did that go down for you?
I've used a little bit of my money, and as I made more, I used more of it, right? But in the beginning, it was all about securing private lending, right? So it was about securing the deal, finding, the good acquisition sources, but then being able to fund those deals. So what I did was I found great buyers that wanted to buy real estate. I taught them a little bit about the game, and I converted them into private lenders. When that happened, I could close every deal I wanted because I had all the money I needed.
All right, Matt, now listen, you used some pretty big terms there. One of those was like private lender. What really do you mean by that?
Really, anybody who wants to lend and passively make money from real estate, right? So doctors, lawyers, anybody with money, those are some of my best private lenders. But I really had a lot of luck converting buyers, people that were buying properties from me, teaching them just a little bit about it and letting them in on the deal just a little bit more. So these aren't guys that want to learn real estate. These are guys that want to make their money work for them, and they want to leverage what you know in real estate. So you're giving them an opportunity.
So in my experience, there's a lot of people out there that have been stashing money in 401ks, IRAs, maybe even equity in their home, and they've had this dream of becoming an investor, or they've wanted to get their money working for them. Have you also worked with people like that?
Absolutely. One of the best vehicles in the world to make money is real estate, but most people don't know how to get into it. So you, as a real estate investor, are the conduit for people to become private lenders. You're the way that people can get into real estate without learning the whole game like you know it.
So check it out. We've got first of 4 steps, which is you've got to establish some type of track record. The first step to raising money is to put in your 10,000 hours. That's what Malcolm Gladwell says. Do your research or survey your local market, attend seminars, buy your first properties. You will likely make some mistakes, but it's better to make them earlier on so that things are smoothed out by the time you bring investors on board.
That's absolutely right. Once you establish a track record, you have something to point at and say, hey, here's how I did my last deal. The last few private lenders, here's how we structured the deal for them. We could do the same thing with you. Does that sound good? It gives you a track record. It gives you a way to really approach them and sets the context.
I've always found for me that the minimum track record, there's a magic number around this weird number 3.
I can show the number 3 in many ways.
Because when you go out there and you buy your first property, there's a lot of your friends and family, you're like, dude, what are you doing? That's kind of crazy. Why are you doing that? You buy your second property, well, the first one must have gone well. Maybe you got lucky. But by the time you get your third, this weird thing sets in called FOMO, fear of missing out. And they're like, they're onto something. And I wonder if I'm missing out by not being a part of it. 3 is the start of a track record.
The second step is becoming the authority. Once you've established a track record, the next step is to become an authority in your niche. Publishing books, speaking at live events, and receiving third-party endorsements are all different ways to establish yourself as an expert in your field, and it'll help you establish trust when raising funds from investors.
Okay, so when I look at this becoming an authority, I wrote the books, but nothing has been more powerful than actually publishing my track record, sharing my strategy, and actually giving them that document. Now, in my case, they're looking at my last several thousand homes, but I remember the very first time I established myself as an authority with one of my partners. I had bought 6 properties with my father-in-law, and he started slowing down on funds, and I decided that I needed more father-in-law. So there were 4 people in the community that I decided to take out to lunch that week. One was a doctor, one of them was a dentist, a couple others were corporate figures at their companies. I knew that they made good money. I knew that they were fiscally responsible. I knew that they were 401kers and IRAs and house payer offerers. And so I decided to do lunch. And I brought Matt my binder and I showed him like my first now in total 9 properties. And there was basically a picture of the house and underneath the description of what I bought it for, what it was worth, the positive cash flow. And I basically said, here's what I got. Do you want to do some of this with me and split things 50-50 and make the same kind of money?
So being an authority in your niche is all about starting the right conversations with the right people. You don't have to be on TV. You don't have to write a book. You just have to be where the people are, right? So that means real estate investment associations, buyers groups, all right? Money clubs. That's where you need to be. That's where you need to be hanging out with people, talking to people, and increasing your sphere of influence.
All right, check it out. Number 3 is proximity. Now, literally, it's one of my favorite words. I literally have a company that is named after that word. But what it means here in this particular context is really important. After you've established yourself as an authority, you need to get proximity to people who can move money. Get in the right rooms by joining masterminds, investment groups, associations, and clubs.
That's right, guys. And you can find a list of these in your local area by just searching on Google. Search for investment clubs, investment associations, right? They're out there and you can find those people. They're meeting weekly, monthly, all over the place. You just got to tap into that sphere of influence. You've got to bring that proximity because proximity is power. You know, Kris, this actually happened a few years ago. I was at the Tampa Real Estate Investors Association early in my real estate career, and that was where I first met my first big lender. There was a young guy there who wanted to get started in real estate investing. His father-in-law was loaded and wanted to put money into real estate. So that was my first big buyer. We used his money to fund a lot of our first deals, and that established my track record. After that, it was off to the races.
I'll tell you what, you might be thinking, Matt, you got freaking lucky. But you know what? My father-in-law helped me buy my first several properties. And I'm telling you right now, there are people that are out there that want to put money behind good deals. And if you're a deal maker, if you're finding good deals, the money's always available, but only if you're following the system, which really leads us to the 4th point, which is all about partnerships. And there's a lot of ways of doing these, Matt. Let's talk about some of the ways that we've done them. Now that you've made connections, convert wealthy buyers into private lenders. Put together pro formas and other investment documents detailing where money will be allocated and the expected returns. And my question for you is, how are you actually structuring your partners? Are you just borrowing money and lending on it? Or are you actually going in as 50-50 partners? How did you guys do it?
I've done it in every conceivable structure, right? Early on, it was more 50-50. As I got better and the spreads were bigger, I demanded more than that, right? Now I offer opportunities to private lenders, and I keep the lion's share of what we're creating there, but I'm offering them opportunities they wouldn't have otherwise.
And I have to tell you, Matt has a particular superpower that I really admire. He's like a super connector. He's super authentic. I think you can feel that, right? Like he has a good-natured heart. He loves to create win-win scenarios. And of course, when you cultivate a relationship with these investors, they can turn around and do deal after deal after deal as long as you treat them the right way. How did you end up treating your partners? Some of the points that you kind of remember that would allow them to keep coming back and doing repeat business.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I focused on the relationship, right? Because I wanted it to last a long time. I wanted to keep doing deal after deal, just like Kris said. So I really focused on first building their trust, letting them buy some properties from me. And then as they wanted to get more involved in real estate, I'd offer them the opportunity to, hey, maybe you'd like to lend on some of these. Maybe you'd like to lend on a portfolio of properties. And then I would keep kind of stepping them up to the next level, the next level. So it was establishing trust, offering opportunity, and then going up from level to level to level.
Well, check it out. Let me tell you right now, the window in the game of real estate might be closing. Check out what Zillow had to say about it. They said, the last 2 years have seen record surges in home prices, and while some are hesitant to enter the market at historic highs, Zillow predicts that by February 2023, year-over-year home price growth will be at 17.8%. And then they say or think that the market's going to cool after. But I'm going to tell you, Matt, right now we're missing 5+ million homes in this country, and the market might cool, but as far as a crash or going down, we have to find a way to satisfy all of that demand before we can see any kind of correction. What do you think?
I absolutely agree. I think the opportunity is now, but I think we're going to have an opportunity for a while. So the window is closing. I don't think it's closing super fast. The opportunity is now. The opportunity is always going to be in real estate.
Matt's absolutely right. We've got some time in the market, and right now I think it's some of the best timing for you to get involved and play. So in the past, you might have been thinking, well, man, if I don't have money, I can't play. And we say, no money, no problem. Check it out. There's an opportunity for you to partner with me equally, 50-50. My team is finding me in the top markets, the best deals every single day. And you know who I buy them with? I buy them with people like you. Individuals that are out there watching my channels, watching my social, getting educated, and get to the point where they say, you know what? Here's what I know about myself. I want to invest in the game of real estate, but I know enough about myself that I don't want to learn it, or I don't want to put in my 10,000 hours. I don't want to write books. I don't really want to go to the seminars. What I do want to do is literally eliminate my learning curve by starting right on the top shelf. And I don't know of anyone that's playing the single family game as big as I am today. With over $1 billion in single family real estate under my belt, what I can do is I can show you the best markets, the highest ROIs. So if you have money sitting in a 401k, an IRA, if you have equity in a property, you have savings, you have money sitting in a business, and you're like, wow, I need to get my money earning some of that double-digit ROI that eventually becomes triple-digit and even bigger, I'll tell you what, there's a link below where you can learn about partnering with me. Click the link, fill out the information. My team will reach out to you. And you know what? If you end up liking what you hear, you and I will personally be connecting with each other, with you as my partner, and I'm going to take you by the hand to the market, and we're going to crush it together. Well, check it out, Matt. Brother, dude, it has been a blast.
Thanks, man.
Thank you for teaching all of my wonderful friends here these 4 simple steps, things that you are completely capable of doing. But you know what? There are some of them here who actually think that a 401k is a great alternative. What do you think about that?
A 401k as a great alternative?
Yeah, that's like they're going to get rich through a 401k.
I don't have any friends that have done that.
I don't either. I don't know anybody. And if you're kind of curious whether 401k is a smart idea or maybe perhaps the world's stupidest idea, you're going to want to watch the video right here.
Yeah? All right. So bottom line, guys, this is a 50% return on investment.
I'm going to remember my lines.
And he's speechless. It's amazing returns. All right, ready? 3, 2.